Guys, if you ever needed a reason to install Native Instruments Massive in 2024, oh my god, the basses that you can make with that one. Just listen to this. This is so fat. I actually have not used this plugin in a while, and when I launched it and played around with knobs for a few minutes, I was so surprised. You know, I'm just so happy I still keep it on my hard drive. And if you actually look at the knobs everywhere on here, if you look at the filter knobs, making small adjustments in filter knobs and intensity knobs here on the oscillators changes the sound dramatically. So let me show you that. Oh my. Jesus. Like last time I launched this plugin was, I think in 2020, when me and Boris decided to release a track called Cerberus. It had like the craziest, nastiest Reese basses I've ever made in my life. So let me show you what is my algorithm and how I make Reeses that sound like that. And we will start by launching Native Instruments Massive, like another instance. We will start by launching another instance. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make like a very simple bass, I don't know, like a picture. Something like this. Just to, you know, have a reference. And now I'm going to go to voicing, change the mode of voices to mono rotate and choose legato. Then I'm going to go back to OSC tab and I'm going to click restart via gate and change the time knob. So this is going to change the speed of glide. Okay, so this is what we're starting from. And now what I want to do is I want to make sure that oscillators are in the right octave. So I'm going to go lower. So maybe actually 2 octaves lower. Minus 24. I'm just going to use 2 oscillators for now. What I want to do next is I want to change my intensity to be as low as possible. But like you will essentially turn it like into a sub bass, but you need just a little bit enough openness so that you could hear like extra harmonics. Something like this. Next thing you want to do is you want to go to this envelope mode right here. This is like a general envelope mode for the whole sound. So what you want to go and do here is you use this level knob and push it to maximum. This means that your sound will be sustained on maximum loudness now. Next thing you want to do is you want to slightly adjust the pitch modulation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go like minus 30 plus 30, I guess. Something like that. One thing that I really like about Massive is how pleasant the modulation is. It's so pleasant. It's just, it sounds really full and rich. And I have no idea why it's not like that with Serum. It just doesn't sound the same way. If I open Serum right now and I make a very similar thing. So let me, maybe the wavetables will differ a little bit, but it doesn't really matter all that much. So let me do the same thing. And I'm gonna low pass them. And I'm gonna go coarse pitch minus 30 and plus 30, right? It just doesn't sound the same. For whatever reason, it's just not the same. You can hear so much more tremor in the Massive. It's kind of a little bit more random, and that's why I like it so much. It's a little bit less predictable, and if you apply some distortion right here, it's gonna start having this really weird character. And I don't know, maybe it's just the wavetables because it's square saw. It's like a combined wavetable. It's not the same one as you get like by default from Serum, but it just sounds so much better, and like you don't have to search for wavetables. It's just right off the bat you got the right wavetable. So The distortions are really nice. One thing that I want to do next is that, you know, you want to make sure that your distortion is heavily accented on the low end and somewhere in the like high end, like, I don't know, high mid end. The reason behind that is because that's what makes your sound more crispy and defined. Too much mid information is really bad for heavy basses. So we're gonna go and boost low shelf. Now this boost button, what it does is like low shelf button right here. When you tweak it to the right, it does like a shelf in the equalizer, and if you switch boost, it's gonna go left and right. So it's like a equalizer shifter. The only thing that I find really bad about this equalizer is that it's not visual, it's just like tweaking knobs. But at the same time, you know, it's kind of intuitive as well. You get used to that. So now we're gonna peak some high shelf. So this sounds really fat, and next thing you want to do is add some more distortion here. I'm gonna use Sine Shaper for this one. Oh my, we haven't even done anything, but it sounds so fat already, like out of the box. This is amazing, actually. Like, I'm really surprised. I could even go as far as making like a much heavier pitch modulation, and let's see how that sounds. Oh my god, this is actually legit huge. This sounds really good. And if you do that with Serum, for whatever reason, if you go too much on the modulation, it's just gonna fall apart for some reason. There is no fat in the sound. Maybe, once again, I said, maybe I'm using the wrong wave shape. I don't know. I guess it sounds a little bit better now. But still, it's kind of a little bit more predictable, and you have to really dig to find like the ways to make good reads. But here, it's so fat, like right out of the box. It's just incredible. And you know, we haven't even touched white noise. We still have one more insert for extra distortion. We have 2 filters that we can use for band passing, for notch filtering, low pass. We can assign like you know, whatever, like LFOs on them. It's just crazy the capabilities that this one gives you. Like, this plugin is so good. I'm gonna try and use a double notch filter on here and see what happens with the bass line. Let's switch the mix to the top filter here, and let's try to adjust something. I'm gonna add some resonance. Oh my... Holy shit. You know, sometimes when you have this, like, you found this, like, really cool thing, like some weird cool resonance, what you want to do is to test it on, like, flat pitch. So I'm gonna double click on both of these oscillators so that they, like, go back to default value, 24.00, and now... And now we can start building up, like, a little bit of modulation. This plugin is literally insane. Like, I don't understand why people forgot about it. It's just crazy. This is so good. You can also add like sub layer for like extra sub bass. For this, what you need to do is open the loudness on the third oscillator, change the intensity to like 0 or 1, like super low intensity, and this bypass knob here, put it to the maximum. So it's gonna have a little bit more sub bass. Essentially what you have to do now is play with intensity and stuff like that and see what happens. Also, don't forget that you can change wavetable position and see like how the bass responds to that, and maybe that's maybe that will bring you to some better result even. One thing to remember though, with Massive you have to be very careful with every single knob, because if you go too far, you're never gonna go back. It's just happened to me so many times when I made a really cool sound and for some reason I accidentally broke it and I could not go back to the same sound that I had. You can just remember that the position of your parameter was like 47 and it's gonna make your life so much easier. So like if you want like extra heavy Reese bass, what you want to do is a little bit more modulation here. And we're gonna try and add one more distortion. God damn, bro. And we haven't even touched white noise yet, because white noise is where like the whole grid happens. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that white noise, but before you do that, make sure to turn on maximum color, and it's gonna make it super bright, and then add a little bit of amp. If you do too much, your ears are gonna explode, so be careful with that. So one more thing that you can do is you can make like a seventh. So you go like -5 on the pitch of the first oscillator. This bass is so heavy, it's incredible actually. I'm really surprised. Like the first one and the second one, look at this. My God. Tell me you don't like this, it's crazy. So what you can do here is you can apply an LFO on like a filter, and let's see what happens. This is heavy, like I want to put my oscillator back to -23 something. I don't like, it's like a little bit too high. Like for sevenths and fifths, I think Serum does a better job for some reason, but so like it's too many distortions at the same time. So if you want to do something like that, you better have all your amps, all of your other knobs like that respond for loudness and power be on the same LFO. Also, you can switch the amount of amplitude of the filter so it doesn't sound so gritty. And we can change to like a band pass, for example. Let's try band pass. Now add the LFO to distortion. Let's see what happens. Sounds pretty good. That is really fat. And you can also change like to any other type of sine. Like you can apply a key tracking from macro control window like this. And now every time our key shifts, the bass is gonna play differently. I think this algorithm works really well with all kinds of Reese basses and like super heavy basses, just right out of the box. It sounds so heavy and so nice. I think this is a good reason to use Massive in 2024. Let me know what you think. If you can make such basses with Serum, good for you. For some reason, it just doesn't work for me. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and keep your eye out for new content every week.